This week, we've finally made it up to our own backyard, the Victorian High Country. We're going to tackle two classic tracks. We've got Blue Rag Range and the Crooked River track. We've got the president from 4 Wheel Drive Victoria, who's also an instructor, coming out to show us some advanced recovery techniques. I'm going to give Sean a hand with the cooking segment, and we're meeting up with Aaln Sellars from the High Country Huts Association. This is 4x4 Aussie Mates.
The Blue Rag Ridge track is an iconic high country track. It's one way in and then it's one way out, and I've been told the views are amazing. So let's get into it.
So we're on Blue Rag Ridge, I think. You can see Mount Hotham just over there in the distance. We're coming down quite a steep, rocky section here. Just holding it in first low, just cruising down. There's a lot of dead trees. Apparently a fire ripped through here not too long ago, caused by 2 lightning strikes in Myrtleford, and it was fanned by a hot northerly wind that fanned the fire. And this was basically the only ridge here that stopped. This was the last line of defence that stopped the fire before it would have come through, burnt out Dargo. Ooh, that wheel got very flexy up into the guard there. That's never happened before.
So this is a fairly rocky, steep part of the track. Just the usual. Get in low range, first gear, and just letting the engine hold it and let it roll down the hill nice and gently. Because you don't want to use your brakes too much, because if you lock up and you start sliding, then you've got to put your foot down and give it a little bit of a crank. Get control back under the car, you don't really want that. So it's easier just to safely roll it down. Oh, the handbrake's still on, that doesn't help. Good old Toyota handbrake, you know what I mean? Piece of
Just keeps going and going and going.
Ooh, that's a big drop off. How far up are we? The VMS, this point here is 1,444 metres above sea level, and the drop off is literally just there. See a landslide off there. It's a great fun little track.
Gotta love the views that you get on the high country. So every time you're going up a little track, you come up to a ridge, you see for miles and miles and miles of just hill lines and just trees and just beautiful. They were absolutely right. These views are amazing. Just have a look at this.
Although we always travel in groups, it's important for us all to know basic and advanced recovery techniques. We learned some earlier on in the season at 4 Wheel Drive Victoria's training course. So we've got Gary Doyle here from 4 Wheel Drive Victoria to show us another advanced technique. So what have we got here, Gary?
Oh, sure, what we've got is we've got a simulation of a car that's bogged, of course. And this can happen anywhere, and it doesn't have to be in a bog hole. It could be on a rocky ledge, it could be anywhere. Car stuck, can't go anywhere. We need to get it out. We're going to use a snatch strap, recovery strap as we call it. So let's go and have a look and see how we've hooked this up, because this is critical for safety. First thing we've done is we've used what I call bridle, and it's the purple strap, the purple strap, and it runs between the 2 points on the front of this car. There's shackles that hook the bridle to the front of this car, and this recovery strap just literally loops through the bridle. You'll notice a couple of things, I hope. One is that the strap's nice and flat. There's no twists in the strap.
It is, it's nice and flat.
And that's because we've proven over time that if the strap is twisted, is muddy, is sandy, it actually reduces the strength of the strap.
Yep.
So leaving it nice and flat means that we're going to get the maximum strength in the strap. We've also got this dampener blanket over the middle of the strap. That's just in the event that something breaks. It's going to drop everything to the ground really quickly and keep things safe.
Yep.
Now we've looped the strap out to the side of the car here as well, you'll see.
Yep. That's
simply to let the driver, Tristan, know in the front car that the strap's about to take up. He'll take off, he'll be looking in his rear vision mirror, he'll see the strap disappear, he knows he's got only a couple of seconds and the strap's taken up. It's all spot on.
Good method.
And we've taken the tow ball out, you notice.
I have.
We don't use the tow ball.
No more tow ball
Really
recoveries.
dangerous, yeah, it's like a cannonball, isn't it? So
Yep.
the safety gear distance is minimum 1.5 lengths of the strap to the side at right angles or well and truly in front of the car. And that's where we're going to be in a moment. I'm going to brief both Jack and Tristan in terms of how to do this.
All right.
And we're going to guide them, so we'll stand well out to the front so they can see both of us, and we'll instruct them in terms of what to do.
Good job, mate.
That's okay. Showed it nicely. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we want. Just that pull out that does the job, and then he's out so you can keep going. And that's the important thing, because he'll actually catch up with you if you're not going fast enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, first.
Yeah, that's it. Well done.
Yeah.
Done. Well done, mate.
How was that?
Yeah, good. That's good. I mean, that showed because he pulled him out.
All right.
Yeah, that's okay.
So Jack, what are you doing?
We're wiring up this new light bar to the front of the car because it's going to give us a lot more spread when we're out in the bush, and we're going to wire it up so it's on the high beams in the car, because that's how you legally got to have it. And to do that, we've got a little wiring harness here, which is going to make it nice and simple for us. Easy job and get it done.
So whilst Jack's been up the front installing the light bar up the front, I've been at the back here installing this 32-inch light bar. It allows us to give us some light as we're setting up camp with the awning, give us light under the awning to sit around by, and it's also really handy when you need a little bit more light when we're reversing. So should be pretty good once it's all done.
So we've fitted our winch to the bull bar, LED lights in the front and rear. We've got new wheels and tyres, and they're going to make a huge difference with the new high lift suspension. The car came with the roof rack, and we've fitted a side and rear awning. In the back, we've got some drawers to keep all our gear secure, and the fridge is attached on a fridge slide. Inside the car, we have a front and rear camera system, which is really useful on the tracks where you want to see what's directly in front of you when going up a big hill. We have a UHF CB radio and battery monitor display. We've added a heap of USB sockets for all our devices, cameras, and just charging equipment. Under the bonnet, we've updated the dual battery system with the new battery, cabling, and isolator. So that's it, the car's done. We're off to Tassie, and that's where we'll see you next week.
So tonight in the Victorian High Country, we thought, why not do a nice lamb roast? So we've got a beautiful lamb roast here. The only problem is, Myles, I've never cooked a roast before. So apparently, I've heard on the grapevine you're an absolute wizard at it. So
Who'd you hear that from?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. Untrustful sources, obviously. What are we doing, mate?
All right, so we'll get the lamb. We're going to sear that off in the pan on the fire.
Yep.
Then we're going to chuck it in the camp oven. We're going to layer the bottom with the onions, then tomato, some red wine, stock, all the herbs straight into there.
Yep.
We'll put that on, who knows how long it's going to take. Then we'll do the veggies separately. So we'll get the carrots on the fire, sweet potato. We've got normal potato. I think we should do them as chips.
Yep,
So we'll slice them up, parboil them, and then find a way to somehow steam some broccoli. So fire's hot, beer's cold. Let's go.
Because you've got the rim on top.
Put it in there. I'll get my hammer.
Can you try get that thick?
I like crispy. We put this in at some point.
Because when those coals burn a bit. Oh. That's it.
Beautiful. Oh, look at that.
If that's not a good roast, look at that. Carrots cooked. Woohoo!
All right, I'm gonna fish one of these lambs out.
Hang on, I'll grab the sweet potatoes as well.
All right, mate. Still nice and pink in the middle. Ooh.
You're gonna let it rest?
It's been resting in that pot for hours, mate.
I think we've done well though.
Mate,
Roast.
roast lamb, sweet
Oh.
potato, roast chips, roast normal potato chips.
I would
Broccoli.
say you've outdone yourself this time, Sean,
But you
but
said that last time, mate.
I said that every other week.
Wait for the taste. The
Taste test.
test.
That's the all important.
Thanks, worth. Makes
carrot's
sitting
good.
here drinking beer while you're cooking all worth it.
I'm surprised you could get that sentence out of your mouth, mate.
Stumbled a couple of times.
The Victorian High Country Huts Association is a volunteer group dedicated to the conservation, maintenance and rebuilding of bush huts in the high country areas of Victoria. Huts of all shapes and sizes were built in the high country from the mid-1800s by cattle musterers, fishermen, miners, loggers, forest rangers and more recently ski and bushwalking groups. Most early ones were built using materials at hand and with basic tools. Many have long gone, but huts are still scattered all over the alpine and high country area of Victoria. Our guide for today is Aaln Sellars. He's a huts maintenance officer and member of the Pajero Club of Victoria. Alan, can you tell us a bit about the history of Store Point Hut behind us here?
The Store Point Hut was built by Ben Kessler, an army engineer, in early 1970s. He used it as a hut to stay in while he rebuilt another one up the hill, which is now gone. But he was a gold miner and a deer hunter, and he'd be up here a lot. He built the shed out of, the hut out of old material from an ex-plaster factory just out of your lawn,
Yep.
which is no longer there. And he used it for his own use, and he let other people stay in it as well.
Okay. I heard that you were involved in a bit of a rebuild here. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes, I was involved through the Pajero Club. We had one of our members was contacted by a friend of Ben Kessler, and he wanted us to rebuild it. It was a rusted piece of metal. They were going to bulldoze it. So through the club and the Victorian High Country Huts Association and DSE, involved with Suzette Fullerton and Noel Lees, they supplied all the materials for us to go ahead, and it took us 2 weekends.
Okay, well, that was pretty good. So what about some etiquette for the huts?
Yeah, the hut etiquette is to keep it clean, take your rubbish out. It's mainly for refuge.
Yep.
So if the weather's nasty, you can use it. Prefer people to camp outside.
Yep.
So if the weather's nasty, and if you're in there and the weather's nasty, other people come along.
You can't deny them access.
Yeah, they'll be allowed. They should be allowed in. You cannot restrict people.
Yep. So a lot of common courtesy around it.
Yeah.
How can our viewers help in keeping the huts open and accessible for everyone?
Keep it clean. Remove their rubbish. Look after the hut, because if you look after the hut, it'll look after you when the weather turns bad.
Yeah.
And make sure that you take your rubbish away and your fires are out.
Yeah. It's a fantastic bit of history and it's still here, so why don't we go check it out?
Yes, no worries.
All right. So what do we got in here?
Well, this is the internal area. The fireplace was built.
Yeah.
The original one was ruined. The design of the chimney is old, with a wooden frame outside. And we built the fire. The iron was brought in by DSC. They supplied it.
Yep.
So we had to build the fireplace up. It didn't have a concrete floor when we done it. It was just dirt.
Yep.
Concrete floor's been put in by the contractors.
Yep.
And with all this was basically all the timber here was all burnt.
Okay.
When we done it, and it was on a hell of a lane.
Yep.
And the roof's the original.
Yeah, the original.
Bull's head. What do you call it? Roof. That's the original steel.
So we've come along the Crooked River track. Sean's got himself stuck, his front left spinning and he's not going anywhere. We've set up a bit of a winch recovery. Gary's going to talk us through it. So what are we going to do here, Gary?
Often happens, Miles. This is a classic case, steep exit to the river.
Yep.
People have been coming through, haven't been draining the water out as they come through, got quite wet. This is clay surface, so he's got stuck. He just needs to get over this hump and then we're all good to go again. So the easiest way to do that is with a winch, particularly if you're by yourself. So we've taken the winch rope out, we've used the gloves to protect our hands, taken that around a tree trunk protector. Now the problem we've got is it's not the straightest pull in the world, we've got to pull off to an angle, but we only have to come up about 2 metres, so that'll be okay, won't put a load on the winch.
Yeah.
But when we're up, we'll take the winch cable out, we'll rewind it back nice and straight again. So a couple of safety things. One is the dampener blanket halfway up the rope. That's just to stop it and drop it if it does break. It shouldn't in this case. And I think this is really a classic case of where you'd use the winch, go a short distance, and then he can drive off. Won't drive off while the winch is working though, because if he does get grip and he then starts to move off, the winch cable goes slack. There's potential then to roll back on the winch cable. That does a lot of damage to the winch. It's the shock load that causes the damage. And they're not designed for that, so no, we don't want to do that. So we got to get going, I think. Now we need to be a safe distance from here as well, which is about probably 1.5 lengths of this rope. Up away from that, so that if it does happen to break it, recourse, we won't be in the firing line for that. So let's go.
So let's
Right, so Myles, what we're going to do here now, I've got Sean in the car. I'm going to get him to start the engine because we need the engine running just to get the battery charged because that winch does take a lot of power.
Yeah, it's going to draw a bit.
I'm going to ask him to start winding in. I'll tell him when it's about to take up, and when he's up and on the level, then I'll tell him to stop. He'll secure the car and then we can literally pack everything up. He'll be able to drive off.
Yep, awesome.
Sean, do you want to start your engine? I'm going to ask you just to wind that winch cable in. I'll let you know when it's about to take up. Don't drive the car, just let the winch do the work. And when you're ready to go, I'll let you know the commands from there.
Roger.
Oh yeah, start winding that in for me. Okay, here she goes, taking up now. Keep winding. You'll hear the strain on the winch motors because it's a single line. It's really having to work hard.
So his wheels are fine the way he's pointing them?
Absolutely, nice and straight. When this car comes up and over the ledge, you'll hear the winch will free up a bit.
Yeah.
That's a good sign to say, well, I'm not having...
Yeah, there you go. You can hear it a bit now.
It's good now,
Yeah.
And that dampener blanket we need to watch. We don't want it to be winding into the winch. Okay, that'll do, fine. Do you want to just secure the car there? I think we're on the ledge, we could drive off from there. Secure the car, park brake on, in gear, and we'll start to pack up. Thanks, Sean.
The Crooked River track starts from our campsite in Talbotville. It has a massive 26 river crossings, so we're going to go get our wheels wet. I've never been through so many river crossings in one track. I've lost count of how many we've done so far, and we're not even halfway yet. Coming up to the river crossing 24, I think we're up to. Following Tristan, he's heading down now. I'm just gonna wait at the top for him to go down, and he's clear. And then I'm gonna head down. He's down at the bottom, so I'm heading down now. It looks like. A few rocky little steps on this little bit. Definitely downhill. Through the river now. Just gonna let the water wash off a bit so we don't ruin the other side.
So we've just come to the last river crossing of the, what are we on? Crooked Creek Track. The last river crossing on Crooked Creek Track. Myles has just gone through it and says it's quite deep and there's a steep climb on the other side. So that should be a bit of a challenge. And then we are just going to cruise around on the other side of the river here.
For the recipe and any other information on this week's show, visit our website 4x4aussiemates.com and give us a follow on Facebook and Instagram at 4x4 Aussie Mates.